Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still here after all these years, after all these tears I shed. I'm still here and I'm walking this earth like I should be. There was days that I didn't know if I would be. Yeah, yeah. Now I stand tall with my feet in the ground and my head in the clouds. 'Cause I'm still here like I should be. Yeah, yeah, like I knew that I could be. Here we go, here we go. I'm still here. I'm here.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Where were you last week?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Work?
Just busy.
Pretty sure I was at school.
Oh, maybe. I feel like life is always a balancing act, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it changes, I think it's always a challenge to kind of manage all of the things that are going on and add metastatic breast cancer to that.
Yep.
So I feel like I am constantly looking for like what works the best for me. And part of the challenge for me is that I don't really like following a schedule day after day after day.
Which I feel like I'm always looking for the best way, and I found it.
Okay. What happens though when things get thrown in there, additional things?
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, I think I know for me, like the appointments that it's my life has been definitely pretty appointment heavy
Mhm.
lately, which is a challenge, but also just kind of figuring out what works in terms of working out, going to work, all of these
Yeah.
things, and then fitting in the rest.
So, like, my day is very structured,
Yeah,
and I like that, and it makes me happy when it's structured.
yeah,
You intentionally don't want structure,
yeah.
but when you don't have structure, you have to deal with this.
I have to deal with what?
You have to deal with the chaos of
Yeah,
no
no,
structure.
it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of this crazy thing because I don't like my life to be super scheduled,
Mm-hmm.
but I also am realizing that like on a day that isn't so scheduled, the whole day just goes flying
Oh,
by.
Yeah.
And like for today we're doing this like in the afternoon. I had a meeting today that I had to be a part of, but the morning kind of went away, and even it impacts everything. Like the day before I knew that I was going to be working, and I have found that if I can work like my one job that I work, if I do 4 to 6 hours, like that's ideal because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't like suck me dry. I'm adding the gym on top of that, which is good. And even then I'll be more intentional like how I eat and all of those kind of things, because I don't want to I want to have the energy to get through the day and be able to get a good workout in.
Yeah.
And then a day like today, like it's just out the window. Like I've barely eaten. I still haven't, gone for a walk. I am getting some other stuff done, but it's always this, how what's the best way to manage all of this, right?
See, but it surprises me because you are a schedule maker. I think you
Yeah.
like to do that. It just surprises me on days like this that yesterday you don't make a schedule for today. Seems like that would make you feel good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think of my days off as more of a to-do list kind
Mhm.
of day versus what time of day will I do everything. The other thing I found, like
But clearly that doesn't work as well.
it's not working.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I agree. It's not working. So
Yeah,
like,
that wouldn't work for me either.
what's the right thing to do? What's the right way? I guess it is, and I've been listening to some podcasts and they basically say if it's not on your calendar, it's clearly not a priority.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, not that I need to be like so visual that like the gym is on there or whatever, but we've talked about this before, like habit stacking in the past. I've
Mhm.
realized that, okay, going to the gym right after work is great.
Yep.
Like that's a good thing for me. So then like on a day that I'm not going to the gym, how am I fitting in? And by fitting in, I have more time on those days.
Mhm.
So how am I prioritizing
Yeah.
those things, right?
And I think scheduling,
Yeah.
on that, if you really want the goal. Now, some days you just want to not do anything, and that's okay. But if you do have I want to achieve these 4 things in the day, for me, I don't write it down, but I do schedule it.
Yeah,
And that's my Sundays right now, is I have to, in this order, and I do a mental check.
of
It
getting
makes me
things
feel
done.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that does matter to me. I think the other thing, like energy matters to me. Mornings are not really my best. That's where I've honestly felt like, yeah, just go to work because it's not like I get a lot done in a morning anyway. So like,
Oh, I disagree with that. I don't think
yeah,
you like working out in the morning, but I think when you do work out in the morning, you like it.
I like that it's done for the day.
Exactly.
And I do.
You know,
Yeah,
that a couple
you're
summers
right.
ago we did it in the mornings.
Yeah.
Like not early morning, but like 9, we worked out every day. And that was awesome.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to look at. I will say, like, I did look at the weather today, though, and went, okay, the warmest part of the day is really late
Oh,
afternoon.
for sure.
And
Yes.
so I'm going to hit that instead.
Yeah, we're dealing with that now.
But also we're going to now deal with darkness here soon, too. So
Yep.
I'll have to figure that out. But
I just like, if I know I'm working out at 9, I can do whatever I want. But when that clock says 9, I'm getting off my butt and going.
yeah.
Period. There is no negotiating with myself. There's no extra. No, it's 9. And I will do that if I
Yeah.
have that decided in my head.
Yeah.
But if I don't, I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Yeah, I feel like I've just kind of, I don't know, I'll push the day. And then again, I do these things that I know just don't make me feel good. Like I did eat breakfast. I kind of forced myself to eat breakfast for probably around 9 o'clock. But on days I'm working, I eat breakfast at like 7:30. And then I just get into a better system all day long where I'm kind of getting fuel into my body. Now I'm at the point where I haven't really eaten since then. And it's kind of like, well,
Mhm.
what do I do to get through the day and eat and I don't know, and not crash energy wise. So it's not, I don't know. I'm just still always.
It sounds like you're a morning person, but don't want to be a morning person. I think that's what they're hearing too.
Really?
Everything you're saying about this works well for you when you get up and go to work and have breakfast. And
I know.
it's just, you have to balance want to and need to, or want to and should do. You don't like that should, but some things we should do. Like we should eat right. We should exercise. We should do all those things.
Yeah, I agree. I need to figure out how to plan a day that I'm home and have it feel like I've gotten the things done that I need to
think
get
you
done.
can easily do that.
Yeah.
It's the question of, will you?
Yes.
And when does that take place for you? Is that because you like to meal plan for the whole week and meal prep and do all that? Is that also schedule prep? Do you schedule your week?
I think I need to do a better job of scheduling my week.
And does that mean time also, or no, Tuesday I'm going to find a time? What works best for you? Let's say I don't even know what today is. Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're not going to your normal day, or normal's tough for you because you do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would have to do.
Yeah. So I think what I'm recognizing right now is that my routine is working well on days that I'm working.
Yes.
So, and that's that's such a win, right? To have that and to have it figured out in a way that it doesn't like suck all my energy. I can still do other things, I'm able to, I'm like, definitely. It's also because I'm in a position where I can say how many hours I'm going to work. Whereas a lot of previous jobs, they tell you the hours,
yeah,
right?
for sure. And then those hours sometimes get longer too because of a meeting or whatever.
Right. So it's nice to be able to have the flexibility of that, saying these are the hours that I want to work,
Sure.
or am willing to work or whatever, and then kind of consider how much energy I have, or to know like, okay, if I do it in this kind of increments, I will have enough energy to then go to the gym and do all those things and hopefully get some stuff.
I mean, I think we all have to look at, you're going to the gym in the afternoons now. Is that a good thing for you? Is your body ready to work out, ready for energy wise, all of that? Or is your body really want to work out in the morning? Or I think we all have to just look at that individually.
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm finding is that because it's kind of mid-afternoon, usually I'm getting there around 2-ish. It's motivating to me to stay on track food-wise, to go, okay, you need to eat breakfast, you need to eat lunch, so that you're not just going to crash when you get there.
Yeah.
Some of it, job-wise, sometimes it just makes more sense to me to be at work in my position in the morning, because that's when people want to do therapy.
Yeah. Another one of those is kind of, I mean, you would have to work out at 5:30 or, in the morning.
And that's probably not going to happen. Or I would, again, that would be putting such a big ask on me. For me to be consistent with that would be nearly impossible. And then just figuring out also kind of all the appointments, and also just how am I feeling today. I've had a headache all day. I think it's sinus related. Again, fall is really a challenge for me in that respect. And just like, okay, how do we make all these appointments? How do I think about, or whatever, how do I just deal with how I'm feeling?
And it's different on what type of appointments too.
Sure.
If you're not going to feel the same when you go get one of your shots compared to going and speaking with a doctor. The type of appointment really matters too, on what you're going to be able to do that day and what you're going to feel like doing, or how much energy you're going to have.
Yeah. And all the appointments are different. Like you said, I mean, some of them are local, some of them are virtual, and some of them are 2.5 hours away. Right. So it is a big difference.
It's a full day.
I'm giving up an entire day to do some of them. So just figuring out how to get through all of that. And we just kind of keep adding more stuff. So I'm still in that process of appointments, but overall, I know it's worth what's, what will be coming for that.
No doubt.
So, and I mean, there's one that I'm just going to put off for a while, because it just doesn't make sense to me right now. And it's too big of an ask, I think. So, yeah. So it is for me looking at kind of what's my energy like. I think you're right about being more intentional about scheduling. And even I don't mind thinking about it. Like, I sometimes when I plan the whole week, it doesn't really work out for me. But if I think about it the night before, kind of what's tomorrow really look like, and what are those additions to my schedule that I wasn't really thinking about, or whatever, how do I get that in? And then I think also just, I mean, I appreciate you in the respect of, oh boy, here comes the cat. Has a cat ever been
I don't think so.
The podcast?
No.
This is Fat Cat, if you're watching. So Fat Cat is
fat.
Yeah, but he's not as fat as he has been in the past.
He's on a diet.
But also I was just going to say, having the support of your family is also really important in all of this. I think it's been so helpful to me to know that you are supportive of the fact that I'm not going to work full time. And it just living with metastatic disease has a certain amount of hours every week, even 27 years out.
Oh, it does.
Just the management of that, and recognizing that our lives are going to look a little different because of that, probably, communication about all of those things with employers, with people you live with all of those things is really helpful. But, and then I think also just I'm always trying to think about what are the things that also matter to me. Like, am I living my days in a way, not that every day is going to be like joyful and amazing, but in a way that overall feels like I'm glad I'm here. I'm fortunate to be in this life. How can I improve quality of life versus just slugging through?
I do. Yeah,
So,
that's a line that I don't know if I'll ever know, like that perfect sweet spot on all of the things that are involved in that statement right there. Like that, what's too much, what's not enough, what's that sweet spot in the middle. I think that changes monthly, or
I would agree. I think it not
you
only
know,
changes monthly, but I think it also, for me, it takes me a little while to get there to figure out what that looks like. And then it is a reevaluation of,
yeah.
is this still working? Or do I need to be able to spend more time doing something else?
And it's
Or,
just for me, I compare to what I've done in the past. Let's say like physically, working out, for
mhm,
example, is I go, okay, I know I can do that, say working out 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I know I can do that because I've done that before. But wait a minute, now I'm older. Can I do that? And there is a spectrum on that also of, if you work out too much, now you're more susceptible to injury. But if you don't work out enough, you're more susceptible to injury. It is that sweet spot in the middle that we all
yeah,
have to, that we all, I think, should strive to meet, because it's a game changer in later in life, and staying physically fit, and keeping your body as healthy as it can physically is hard.
yeah,
It's a hard job to do, but it is so important.
yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, you do oftentimes, I feel like you do see people our age as they're maybe becoming empty nesters, or if as they're maybe looking at retirement, be able to dedicate more time, to
yeah.
being physically fit. And that's great. I think the balance with that is, what if you don't get to be able to do that, right? Like, what if it's too late, sort of thing. So, like,
And I always question, is that line is, wait a minute, should I be going hard for 2 hours a day,
yeah,
like push, like I did when I was 30, like I did when in those years. We used to go play volleyball for 3 hours straight and stay
yeah,
and almost think nothing of it. It would be tiring, but I'm saying is, you don't really know if you're going too hard until you go too hard.
yeah,
That's my problem right now. And I believe until you can't, you should be pushing your body as hard as it's smart to do.
yeah,
Because if you don't, you're leaving something on the table, and that downhill track of not being able to do certain things will come faster.
yeah.
That's the truth. And I've been thinking about that a lot.
So let's talk about, this is kind of getting off the subject of balance a little bit, but I
Okay.
guess it's balance in working out, because I've been thinking about that too, because, like, again, going back into the gym and lifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And pushing myself on the weight that I'm lifting or whatever. But it's also, I kind of am like, I'm not like really breathing hard, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sweating a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I doing something? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a similar thing as what people do when they walk. A lot of people walk for pleasure, but they account for cardio workout,
Yeah,
and it's not cardio.
yeah,
They account for the benefits of cardio, which is obviously your heart rate, your respiration, being more efficient if you do it harder.
yeah.
But people want to count that, but it's not really that. I use a similar thing in the weight room. And at least, with my students, I teach 15, 16, 17, 18 year olds. And I tell them, if you are not sweating, you are not pushing yourself hard enough. Most of the things we're doing is muscular strength or muscular endurance type of workouts.
Hmm.
If you're not sweating, don't come to me and say you're working hard, because you're not. Because I'm working and I'm sweating my butt off. And I think we have to push ourselves. That does not mean you have to lift a lot of weight. That means you have to maybe lift a little weight a lot of times, but working out's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
And we stop liking that at a certain age. We don't want to go hard because hard is scary for us. It goes from something we know we should do and we're good at it and we're athletes and we're training for sports and then we stop doing it for a while and then we want to get back into it and we go, oh, I got to be careful of this. And that careful part stops us from going as hard as we should. And I'm saying, I think we can all go harder than we think we can. I kind of prove that to myself almost every Saturday when I'm out there on the football field with these guys that are just crazy good athletes. They're freaks. They're so much faster than me. But I find myself doing things I didn't know I could still do. I'm forced into it to some extent, but then I go, wait a minute, I did that and I didn't injure myself. Why? Because I've been training and I can take that through to other things physically too. I've said to myself, I'm not doing any more strength training. I'm doing muscular endurance stuff and I'm going to live by muscular endurance. It's making me healthy. But then I go, wait a minute, am I just discounting that? Should I be doing some muscular strength? Not when I was 30, or not when I was in my 20s, but I think we just go, well, we got to be careful or wait. And I'm really thinking more about that now. And again, it's a fine line between that and injury. And I don't want to injure myself, but I think we can all push harder than we think we can.
Yeah.
I do believe that. And I think that is going to extend our ability to live a healthy life, to enjoy that. Yes, there's things like cancer, there's cardiovascular disease, there's the big ones that just knock us down. And there's nothing, honestly, well, there is some of the things we can have a say in some of those things. But for the most part, we can just live as healthy as we possibly can and hope those don't happen, right? Well, to live as healthy as we can, we've got to make our immune system as healthy as we can. We've got to push ourselves. And a lot of people aren't going to like to hear this, and that is okay to just live your life and not do any of this. But I think there's a consequence of that. I look at a lot of my peers. I'm 55. I look at a lot of my peers, and I'm happy with where I am physically. But I'm going, wait a minute, why am I comparing myself to them? I want to compare myself to the 35-year-old because I want to be physically strong for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Sorry about all that rant, but what I've been thinking
about. I mean, it's interesting too, because I was thinking, like, I went for a walk the other day and I just was just felt good. Yeah. And I was literally at that 1502 mile, which is, that's flying. We sometimes get into 14s when we're going all summer long, but we're really going. But anyway,
the 15-minute mile is flying.
I felt really good about that. And I was like, it wasn't really more, it just was, there was some intention to it to be like, go.
Yeah.
But also, like, it just felt good.
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to get that back in the gym.
You can do that in the gym too.
You
absolutely, because you have something to fall back on, the fact that you've been an athlete, you've trained as an athlete, you've been in a weight room, you do know your way around a weight room. And now it's just, it's called the overload principle. It's pushing your body harder than you normally do.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even want to say easy, but whether, in a weight room or walking or training physically, it's this overload principle. But then my fault in that is I do that. Overload principle. I don't go with what's called the progression principle. Each week or month or whatever your system is, you got to up it. I don't like to do that because that's hard. And I'm good with the overload. Okay, yeah. And then
it's funny because I feel like we're almost the opposite on that. Like, I can't wait to be able to chunk it down another notch. You know what I mean?
Oh, I still do, but I don't like it.
I know. I think I have been probably being careful that I don't.
Which a little careful is so good. It's that fine line that is.
Yeah.
I don't have that, and it's different for everybody. And you're like, could you go too hard and pull a muscle? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you really got to do both. And it's knowing your body, listening to your body, but also going, okay, just because people tell us we're getting older doesn't mean we have to act like it.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think all of that age is a number, and our body doesn't have to reflect that necessarily. Again, I'm spending a lot of time in nursing homes now, and I see 97-year-olds who are walking down the hall, you know what I mean? Right. And I see 55-year-olds who are on, you know what I mean? It's way different. And some of that, it's a number of things, but it's also how they think about things too, right?
It is true.
And so,
I mean, we both have a friend who listens to this podcast, and I know he does, but he's an inspiration for me
oh my
because
gosh, so much.
he's not a lot older than me, but he's older than me. And I hope I am close to his physical ability when I get there, and then
Definitely.
and I know because he trains his butt off. That's important to him. He doesn't go overboard with anything, but being physically fit is important to him, and it's just adding years to his life. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's something, I mean, I think the consistency is definitely there, right? In that, and
Oh,
I think
very,
it's
yeah.
very consistent. And then also just the recognition of the importance of it and not feeling like, oh, I have to. But I think there is that always to be able to think, man, I get to,
Yeah, that is so true. We forget that, man.
And I've been thinking about that more. Even, I mean, there's things that get to me. Like, again, we've talked a little bit of all the sinus issues that I have, but I've had like a sinus infection or something sinusy going on for months now. And on days that I don't have that like congestion in the back of my throat, I'm like, oh, thank God. And so it is something that is more mindful. I think I'm more mindful of that, taking advantage of good days. And man, if you have more good days than bad, then you're so lucky. But taking advantage of good moments and good days to be able to build on something is just really an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So I think all of this is just about like balance is what you want it to be, and it's not everything being equal, because that's just not how we work and how our bodies work and all of that kind of thing. It's about kind of, I think, building habits that really work for each of us. It's about reevaluating when things aren't working, right? And just kind of, the more your body does something, the more it gets used to it. So do you need to kind of challenge it more, or is that great? I've got that as a baseline, and now I can build on something else can come into the mix.
Sure.
I can manage one more thing. Or I think, there were years that I could only manage cancer. That was it. And for many of you who are, newly diagnosed, it is so understandable that just to manage this disease takes a lot, and to manage all of the emotional and mental toll that goes with it, right? But it's kind of cool to be able to look at, okay, how can I keep building this life that I want it to be, in a way that I want it to be. All right, I'll keep working on it. I've got my work days down. I gotta figure out the non-work days, which are more important to me, I think, of course, than the work days. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for the invite.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Tip.
Thanks so much for watching and being a part of our community. It means the world to us. Our goal is always to help as many people as possible live well with cancer. You can help us by subscribing and sharing episodes when you hear of others that could benefit from it. We really appreciate your time spent with us and your commitment to offering hope and inspiration to others.